Thanks for joining us for a very special edition of Weekend Winners, and you'll see a number of these special editions taking place over the coming weeks. Obviously the reason why, it's TAB Constellations Carnival time, and what a period we've got coming up here in Queensland with a number of special races taking place. It all starts this Saturday night with the Redcliffe Cup. That race proudly sponsored by the Moreton Bay Regional Council. The highlight though of the night is the Group 1 $100,000 Garrards Redcliffe Yearling Sales Series final. We saw the heats last week. We've got the big final taking place on Saturday night. Other highlights include the TAB Redcliffe Oaks and the Company Northgate Redcliffe Derby. We've also got the Trotters Cup as well. 10 races, action gets underway at 4:47, and it's truly a magnificent program, the highlight meeting of the year at Redcliffe. And we go through all of the form talk throughout this special edition of Weekend Winners. Darren Clayton from Racing Queensland, he's our regular form analyst and he's joining us now. Darren, there's a lot to look forward to on Saturday night.
There certainly is. 10 races, absolutely jam-packed with talent, some great horses lining up, and for a real coup for the Redcliffe Club to have Krug lining up, a horse of his quality. Imagine having his first Australian start in a Redcliffe Derby. Amazing.
Yeah, it truly is. The last time a horse that was able to win both derbies in New Zealand, the Great Northern and the New Zealand Derby, and then venture to Queensland, it was Badlands Butte back in the 2005 year. And before that, it was the mighty Courage Under Fire back in 1999. So to have a horse like Krug here is very, very special. Having his first start this Saturday night at Redcliffe, as we know, he's also got the Rising Sun and the Queensland Derby to look forward to. So that's all in front of us. We've got a lot to look forward to, and there's a lot of form talk to break through and dissect as well. And we've also got interviews coming up with Adam Sanderson and Nathan Dawson. The first of our features that we are going to focus for on Saturday night is the Redcliffe Oaks for TAB. And Darren, this is not an easy race to pull apart because they're coming from everywhere here. We've got a Victorian representative, we've got the locals, and we've got a couple of New South Wales types as well. So it's not an easy race, and the barrier draw certainly hasn't been kind to a few horses. You do the form talk and all the speed maps for all of our races each and every week here in Queensland. I'm tipping this wasn't an easy assignment, this race.
No, it certainly wasn't, and especially we've got Lady Ivana down in Barrier 1. She has shown good speed out of the machine previously in New Zealand. I think she's got enough to hold up the front here. If that's the case, I found it a struggle to find where Sporty Dancer fits in. Her win in that 3-year-old race at Albion Park was a really strong win. I think she's a little bit under the odds at the moment, and I couldn't really work out where she would sit in the run. That's why I've gone with the speed map I have. I've got Lady Ivana in front, I've got Jasper on her back, and if that eventuates, Jasper's the filly that I want to be on. I think she gets the right trip, she's got the right form, and outside of Talent to Spare, she's probably the best filly in Queensland. She's got a Group 1 2-year-old victory to her name, so I'm going with Jasper purely off the fact that I think she gets leaders back, gets to that passing lane. The 2,040 metre start at Redcliffe, also a little bit tricky for those drawn wide.
Yeah, I agree with all of those comments you've just made there. It's not an easy race to assess. Lady Ivana's the key filly here with Barrier 1, and it's an important booking for Shane Graham as well. The fact that they've gone with Shane Graham, he's an aggressive driver, so if he can get her out of the machine as quickly as possible, it brings Jasper right into the race. And being stable, mates, they'd be keen to occupy those two key positions, leader behind leader. As you outlined, Jasper's probably the best filly in Queensland, away from Talent to Spare. She's a proven Group 1 performer, so it's not an easy race to assess. My tips, I'm going with Sporty Dancer, primarily off that victory first up at Albion Park. Look really good, beat the boys, and the form line's been frank because What's Up Sunshine has won a race since. So I'll go with Sporty Dancer. She's Miss Devine. Looking at the markets, there's not a great deal of respect for her, but when you look back at that victory last week, she was really good, or was Manila Playboy really bad? You can look at it either way, but she's got a great record here at the track, and you can probably also put forward that suggestion. Is there any other filly capable of doing what she did last week? She ran the time as well. I'm respecting her. Jasper, certainly in the mix. The draw's just a little concern for me. And Eva Pateo, she comes up from Victoria. She's got a really good record. It's an interesting mix here, so I'm just going to respect her, and there's been market support for her as well. So 3, 6, 7, 10 for me. Your numbers there in race number 3.
Yeah, well, like I mentioned, Jasper on top. Have to really respect She's Miss Devine. That was a great win last week. She got around to the breeze, did the work, and Manila Playboy loomed up but just couldn't get to her, so she was really good. Lady Ivana from the draw and Sporty Dancer, like I said, I've got a healthy respect for her, just concerned where she positions in the run.
Okay, so 7, 6, 1, 3, the numbers for Darren there in the Redcliffe Oaks. So that's race number 3. We're going to have a look now at the Redcliffe Derby. That's our next feature coming through, and this is the race that features Krug. So this is all important because, as I said, he's here for some of these big races coming up at Albion Park in the coming weeks, the Rising Sun, the Queensland Derby. How did you map this race and where do you have Krug?
It's always hard horses having their first start at Redcliffe. You then throw in the likes of the speed drawn underneath him. General Montana been really good in his past 2 starts at Albion Park. Really good gate speed. He gets gate 1. I think he leads them up. He holds the key to the race. Does he want to look for an all-the-way win, or does Adam Sanderson respect how good Krug is if he comes calling and just let him go straight up? So you've then got What's Up Sunshine in gate 4, brilliant out of the mobile. So where does he position in the run? I thought General Montana holds up, Krug sits outside him, What's Up Sunshine then gets the 1-1 sit on him. Whichever way you look at it, Krug's the horse that likely should win this race. It's just where they fit in around that. Hemsworth, he's going to have to come wide. We've seen him having to work wide at Albion Park. He's got a devastating sprint when he lets down, where he ends up in the run. Captain Crusader, if he gets the run on the back of General Montana, whether he be behind the leader or 3 fence, that'll suit him. He's got a good closing sprint. He closed out strongly in that 3-year-old race that Sporty Dancer was in. So where he positions there, I think that's your race. He ain't faking. Good New South Wales Colt, but he's going to face a stiff ask from gate 6. So whichever way you look, I think Krug either goes to the chair or goes to the front. Either way, he's the horse that they probably be chasing.
All right, so in a nutshell, it's Krug and it's wide away from Krug, and that's why he's so short with TAB currently. He's deep into the red, and his record is so good. He's banked more than $500,000 already, and he's here for the big ones. Already invited to the Rising Sun, where he takes on the 4-year-old, so that says enough about his ability. So wide away from Krug. My selections here, I'm with Krug, obviously. I think we can play around with 4, What's Up Sunshine. I still don't think we've seen the best of What's Up Sunshine. He led last week at Albion Park. I think he's a far better horse coming off speed, but you know, when you've got good draws, you've got to utilise them, and that's what they've done so far. 7, Captain Crusader. He was really good behind What's Up Sunshine in that first up run. And Hemsworth, he's the local. He's got a bad draw, but he's shaping nicely. He can follow speed, and if there's going to be a genuine tempo, I wouldn't sell him short as far as the exotics are concerned. 5, 4, 7, 11. Your numbers there in the Derby race 5.
Yeah, very similar. Same top 3. 5, 4 and 7. I'm throwing in General Montana, the 1 in for 4th, just off the gate. I think he gets the right trip. He's another that is shaping nicely, but as you mentioned too, Hemsworth, once he lands a gate, we might get to see the best of him.
Yeah, he's an interesting horse, no doubt about it, owned by some of the big players for the Brisbane Broncos, who are struggling for form, but their horse, he's certainly shaping in the right way. The other thing with Krug, Anthony Butt coming up to drive Krug. The last time we saw a Redcliffe Derby, there was no Derby last year because of the COVID pandemic. He won it with Make Way back in 2019. So he's coming back to defend his Redcliffe Derby crown. So he's got an excellent chance there with Krug. The next highlight that we're going to focus on is the big Group 1 2-year-old feature. This race for Garrards, it's the Redcliffe Yearling Sales Series 2-year-old final. We saw the heats last Friday night, and this has brought together an outstanding field. I think the boys, fair to say, the boys probably have the upper hand here over the girls. We had the heats last week, 1 for the boys, 1 for the fillies. Roses Are Sweet coming out on top with the fillies. Teddy Disco winning the Colts and Geldings heat. I think it's fair to say the boys looked a little stronger, and I think the times back it up.
Yeah, they certainly do. To be fair to the fillies, they're definitely that level below this year. They have had a really good record in this race over the years, especially being drawn preferential to them. A number of fillies have gone on to win this series, but yeah, this year it's probably a little light on overall with just the 2 heats and small numbers in each of those, but the Colts and Geldings certainly holding sway this year.
How did you map this race on Saturday night?
Well, Roses Are Sweet, leader Peter, Gate 3, it's a big race. He's not really one that's going to go back early. So I've put her on front early. Rambling On was an interesting one. It did show good early speed last week in the heat and could just cause a little bit of an early headache for Pete McMullen on the 3 Roses Are Sweet. But I think he eventually gets to the front. It's a position he probably wants to hold on to thereafter. Going through the Colts and Geldings heat last week, Teddy Disco got left exposed for a period, and at no stage did Nathan Dawson want to amble up to the leader. He didn't want the position outside the leader. He held back. That forced Kylie Rasmussen to go forward with R11 Art, got around, sat up there and had to do the work in the run, and that then gave Teddy Disco that 1-1 cover. From gate 5 this week, if he doesn't want to go forward again, at some stage he's going to have to come around them and wear that positions. I think that puts him behind R11 Art in the run. I think there could be a mid-race move from I'm a Chick Magnet to get around to get into the race, or even a horse like Obi Legal, he could also make that mid-race move. I think they'll be content to take that trail with R11 Art, and for that reason, if he stays in front of Teddy Disco without having to work, I think he's a real live chance in this race, and I've put him on top, R11 Art, for that reason of where he's going to position in the run.
Okay, so your selections for this 2-year-old final is?
R11 Art.
Okay.
I've put him on top. He's a extremely well-bred colt by Art's Place. He's in the right stable who can produce top juveniles. I think, like I mentioned, he stays in front, and from there, I think is enough for him to win this race.
Okay, so you're going R11 Art to beat Teddy Disco?
Yeah, healthy respect for Teddy Disco. 2 wins from 3 starts, a second in that Breeders' Classic. He is a very talented horse. I'm just concerned about the fact that where he held back last week, he didn't want to go forward. Obviously, this week's a bigger fish, where the amount of work that he has to do in the run. If he has to work, I don't think he can finish it off.
Okay, so Darren's numbers there in the 2-year-old final, 9, 5, 3 and 6. For mine, I think the boys are clearly a notch above the fillies, and I think there's a good gap between the Colts and Geldings and the fillies. I think Nathan Dawson, I'll be interested to hear his thoughts later on when we have those driver interviews, but I think last week he'll take a lot of confidence from that. Not that he probably needs any more, but I think he knows that he's on the best horse in this final, and he comes up with a good draw. It's a front row draw, the best basically of the boys here. As Darren outlined, the girls get preferential treatment, but I think he's a standout, Teddy Disco. R11 Art, I thought he was really good last week. He just keeps improving each and every time he steps out. He's the main threat. And Obi Legal's definitely got winning claims. I'll be shocked if the winner doesn't come from that trio. I think 5, 9, 6, and then a gap to Roses Are Sweet. I think the girls have got a massive challenge in front of them in this final. I think the boys will dominate quite easily. I think the winner will come from that trio. So 5, 9, 6, then a gap to 3. That's the 2-year-old final there. They're racing for really good prize money. It's a Group 1 $100,000 event. There's a lot to look forward to in that race, but I think the boys will have the superior hand there as we get to that race there on Saturday night. The last of our features, Darren, on Saturday night is the Redcliffe Cup for Moreton Bay Regional Council. This, for mine, is probably the hardest race of the night. So good luck to you trying to map this race, because it's not easy, because most, if not all, have some sort of winning claim here. I'll be fascinated to see how you break down this race.
Yeah, certainly. It's a racing cartographer's nightmare, this one for sure. Just where they position, a number of them having their first look at Redcliffe, the stand start, how they get away. You've got to factor it all in. You have to factor in that they're going to get away. That's first and foremost. So with that in mind, LL Cool J, he draws down in position 1. He's off the front line. The form he's in, if he steps cleanly, holds the front, well, that's going to be a mammoth task for anything chasing him. He's in that good a form. 2,600 metres, doesn't look like it's going to be any problem whatsoever. So if he steps, he's in front, he's the horse to beat. Lola Weideman, driving 8, Kid Montana, she's the absolute gun at getting away from the stands. If she can fire him off, and every chance that he can get in down on behind the leader, I've mapped it that way, thinking that can happen. Lola's an absolute gun at this sort of stuff, so this is her bread and butter. Kid Montana, a last start, or not last start, but last start, the Flashing Red, the big discretionary handicap here at Albion Park. She was the winner with Kid Montana in that race. Colt 31's an interesting one. He's first up from a spell. It's a tough race to take on first up. It's just his second run from a standing start. His only other run was a second to Tennyson Bromack in the Flashing Red. It's his only second start at Redcliffe. His other Redcliffe start was the Redcliffe Derby back in 2018. So he's got a 3-year gap between runs at the Triangle, and from the 20-metre handicap, he's going to be doing it tough. As for a top pick, I've put Clintal Do on top. He's the 2019 Redcliffe Cup winner. He was third in the race last year. He was the track record holder from the 2019 edition of the race. That was taken off him, the 2018 edition. Sole Ambition stripped that track record off him. He's since reclaimed that record in the past couple of weeks. So he's in great form. Dale March has him absolutely firing. Man of the moment, Adam Sanderson to take the reins. Just needs the right trip. It's a race, like you said, Chris, number of chances. It's just going to come down to luck in running. Who gets it, who doesn't. I think Clintal Do, his luck might be on Saturday night. So I've marked him on top from number 1, LL Cool J, 13 Colt 31. The horse of the year, he returns here. He'll never be far away in these type of races. And 8 Kid Montana, 12, 1, 13, 8.
Yeah, I'm going with last week's Patrons Purse winner, LL Cool J. The fact that he's got gate 1, the fact that he's backing up. He set a track record last week with his demolition of his rivals last week and Shane Graham drive. So I'm going to stick with the obvious. I think he's the favourite or co-favourite at this stage with TAB. I'm with LL Cool J. Clintal Do is doing nothing wrong. I think he's in better form this year than what he was when he won the Cup a few years ago. He's been absolutely super at the moment, so there's no reason to jump off him. So I think the winner can definitely come from them. I think they're probably the top 2. Bettor and Force and Colt 31 I find intriguing. We probably didn't expect to see either of these pacers going to Redcliffe for the Cup, but here they are, they're lining up. Bettor and Force, it's probably hard to get a read on her with her stand-start form, but she's part of a really good stable, and I'm going to respect the fact that connections are going this way with Bettor and Force. And Colt 31, I'm not sure how to get a read on this one. Are they just running out of time getting him ready for races like the Garrards Sunshine Sprint and the TAB Blacks of Fate? There's no doubt they're the main target races for him this campaign. They've got to start somewhere, so they're going to Redcliffe. And as you outlined, Darren, he's only had one start here. It was in the Redcliffe Derby, and he's only had one stand start previously. But he's such a well-mannered performer. I've got no concern with him handling the stand start again. So it's an intriguing race, but with both Bettor and Force and probably more so Colt 31, whatever they do on Saturday night, there's got to be more improvement to come. So Bettor and Force has only had that one run back, and it was a real eye-catcher against her own sex in Sydney at Menangle. And Colt 31, he's only had one trial, and it was a pretty soft trial as well, so you can read into that what you like. But maybe they've just got to go to the post, and this is it on Saturday night with the Redcliffe Cup. So my numbers there, 1, 12, 11 and 13. Let's have a look now at some of our driver interviews for this week's edition of Weekend Winners. Adam Sanderson, Nathan Dawson, they're our 2 drivers in question. Let's get the thoughts of Adam Sanderson. He was able to catch up with Anthony Collins at Redcliffe earlier this week.
Well, Adam Sanderson has had a great couple of weeks here in southeast Queensland, and he's got the full book of drives here at Redcliffe tomorrow night for the Cup meeting. And he joins us here on Weekend Winners tonight. Montana Teef for Daryl Graham. Adam, is your first drive to commence the meeting. Rather much informed pacer, been the runner-up most recent 4 attempts.
Yeah, he's racing well. You know, he's one of those horses you go out and he puts his best foot forward every time. So he's always a chance in a race like this.
So you team up with Shannon Price for your next 2 drives in races 2 and 3 with Eternal Promise, who's drawn 1 on the second row there in race 2, last stud winner.
Yeah, she won really good last start. She probably wasn't entitled to win, so the draw looks ideal for her. She can follow her speed and come with 1 run.
Sporty Dancer comes up with a favourite tag for the 2021 edition of the TAB Redcliffe Oaks here. Drawn in gate 3, a $3 chance at the moment.
Yeah, she's one of my better drives for the night. She won well against the boys last start, and you know, the margin wasn't big, but she probably won it a lot easier than what it looked. So I'm really looking forward to driving her.
We're going to have a look at Big Gem Montana taking out a heater of the Showcase Series here last week. Of course, Daryl Graham, the trainer, and geez, this guy's been a great little money spinner for connections. The 10-metre line won't worry him too much.
No, he steps good. You know, fingers crossed. He usually does everything right. So he's got a head start on the main rivals again. So that's probably the key to this race.
And of course, you drove him here in this race that we're currently looking at last week. He got across easy to up outside the speed, and then he was able to prove too good.
Yeah, he raced really well. He raced good, Sydenham Park. So if he has to do that again, or if he can work his way to the front, I'm sure he's going to be hard to beat.
Now the Redcliffe Derby is race 5, and here you have General Montana from the pole position. It's won 2 out of its 3 this preparation.
Yeah, racing well. The draw helps, so you know we'll play the race by ear, and I'm sure he'll acquit himself well.
Now the Group 1 2021 Garrards Redcliffe Yearling Sales Series 2-year-old final is the 6th event on the program. Midnight somewhere, yet to win a race, but it was a really good performance last time around there. You pilot it in race 6, of course 2 on the second row for Shannon Price.
Yeah, he's racing well. He went good last start after copping a bit of interference, so you know he's probably making up numbers, but if we can sneak in the top 5, we'll be happy.
Yet to get a start in the Knights and Dames as race 7 is the 2, which is I'm a Beach Babe for Peter Gregg.
Yeah, you know, if it gets a start, it's probably, you know, making up numbers, but you never know.
He's been a great old horse, Clintal Do, and this is the Redcliffe Gold Cup as race 8 as we take a look through your drives, of course, at Group 2 level. Now, Clintal Do, just looking back through his form, you partnered him a couple of times when he was a 3-year-old, and most recently here last week when he was victorious.
Yeah, he's a horse I've always enjoyed driving. You know, he's really enjoyable to drive. He puts his best foot forward every time. And, you know, last week he probably wasn't entitled to win that. So it just goes to show how good a form he's in. And he's another one I'm really looking forward to driving.
And he loves this race as well. Of course, he won it 2 years ago and he did place last time around.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, it's the handicap's hard, so it's going to be tough. He doesn't want any bad luck, but you know, if we get some good luck, I'm sure he'll be thereabouts.
Now, race 9 is the TAB Long May We Play 2021 Redcliffe Trotters Cup, and take us through the chances there with the 5 Orlando Jolt for Daryl Graham.
He keeps getting better every week, that horse. You know, he keeps improving, and this is another step up again. So first time around Redcliffe is a little bit of a worry, but you know, I'm sure if he keeps up, you know, how he's been racing, he'll go good.
He's won his last 2 starts there too, Orlando Jolt. Over to the lucky last, race 10. You're aboard Blue Moon Rising here. Winner here on this track 3 starts ago. Of course, there for Daryl Graham.
Yeah, the horse is racing good, and you know, he relies on luck. So hopefully they set it up in front, and he can finish over top.
Adam, all the very best for your drives on Saturday night here on the Peninsula for our feature meeting here. What's your best chance?
I think the 3-year-old filly, Sporty Dancer, she's a horse I'm really looking forward to.
Well, joining us here on Weekend Winners is Nathan Dawson. Nathan's a great driving talent here in southeast Queensland, and he's got a great book of 8 drives across 10 races here at Redcliffe on Saturday night. And welcome along, Nathan.
Good to be on, pal.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, mate, you've got several leading chances right across the meeting here on Saturday night, of course, the feature as we kick off the Constellations for 2021. And let's go through them race by race. Now, your first driver's in race 2. Now, this isn't a feature race. This is a Bend 5 running the 2,040 metres. And you're aboard My Ultimate Stay here for Jared Alchin.
Yeah, he's got gate 3, so it should be pretty handy for him. He's quite a nice little horse. He's first up here for a little bit, but every time he comes up here, he performs well, so we expect nothing less.
Now, these last couple of starts have been eye-catching performances. Yet to win this preparation up here, but his last 2 attempts have been fairly strong.
No, that's right. I mean, he's going well, and hopefully he can bring another one to the table, and if he does, he should be hard to beat.
We go across to race 4. Now, this is the 2021 Garrards Showcase final, of course. The standing start conditions here over the 1,780 metres. This has been a great series here across the show circuit, culminating with the heats here not so long ago. And, of course, this big final here worth $22,000. And you're aboard a pacer that you've struck up a great relationship with. Not only the pacer, I guess, but as well as the trainer. The Dale March prepared our major day. He's got to overcome the 40 metres, but he's got class on his side.
Yeah, he does. I mean, the 40-metre handicaps, that's probably the biggest hurdle, but he got away good last week, and he made up good ground. So if he can do something similar, he should be in the finish again.
Race 5 is the 2021 Redcliffe Derby over the 20-40 metres here. And, of course, for the 3-year-olds, you're aboard the Ricky Alchin prepared What's Up Sunshine. Now, the starts this preparation have been very, very good performances, resulting in 2 victories.
Yeah, he's been good up here since coming to Queensland. He's getting better each run, and we think he should be pretty much close to the mark. So he should put in a good performance, and he should be pretty hard to beat.
So he's drawn gate 4 there in the Derby on Saturday night. General Montana, which is shaping up for the hat-trick of victories, is from the inside, and you've got Krug, that favourite, $1.40 at the moment on the tab. It's drawn towards your outside. How do you see yourself landing in the run?
Yeah, well, we got really good gate speed, so we'll try and use that to our advantage. I think if we can find the top, it'd be nice to hold and then make the Krug work. But if we find the front, we should be in with a good showing.
Over to the 6th event. This is the Group 1 2021 Garrards Redcliffe Yearling Sales Series 2-year-old final of just over $100,000. And this is shaping up to be a really good race here yet again. And you're aboard Teddy Disco here for Sean Grimsey. And Teddy Disco's only had the 3 career starts, resulting in 2 victories.
Yeah, no, he's a good horse, and he's getting better every run. So gate 5 is probably the best we could have hoped for. So we've been lucky with the barrier, and hopefully we can make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course we saw him winning here on this track last time around. At the moment he's the $3 favourite to win. But yeah, gate 5, do you find that awkward, or would you be pressing forward?
No, I don't find it that awkward. I mean, we'll be going forward. I think he's got plenty of ability on his side, and I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. So I'm pretty happy with the gate, and we'll try and drive him like the best.
Okay, so race 7 we go across to now, and this is the Knights and Dames Series final. We're running the 1,780 metres, and you're aboard Molly's Secret yet again for the Sean Grimsey stable. And Molly's Secret comes up here with one of the inside gates, gate 3.
Yeah, no, she's probably going better than what the form looks. Some of her runs haven't looked that good, but if you look at the sectional, she's been going well. So hopefully with the good draw, we can make the most of it and be in the finish.
She's third up from a break here on Saturday night too, so she should be just about cherry ripe.
Yeah, she should be pretty close to the mark, so hopefully with the good draw we can get over the top of them.
Feature event is the Group 2 Redcliffe Gold Cup for 2021, a $50,000 event. Of course, the standing start conditions here over the longer 2,613 metres. You're aboard the Jared Alchin prepared Escalera.
Yeah, he's a good horse, and he does well up here in Queensland, so hopefully if we get away good, we can make the most of it, and I'm pretty sure he should be close to the mark.
He might be worth a little bit of an each-way ticket there in that race too. At the moment, he's double figures.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I wouldn't say he's the worst in the race, that's for sure, but if he gets away, we should be pretty close.
The Trotters Cup is race 9, of course, over the longer journey as well, the 2,613 metres. Now, you're having a drive for Grant Dixon here aboard Musculus. Now, Musculus is inside the 20-metre line, but was a winner 4 starts ago.
Yeah, no, he's been going well of late. He's been racing over the long trip, which probably isn't ideal for him, but the only concern is probably the track. He doesn't get around it that well, but if he does and does everything right, he should be pretty hard to beat.
And in the lucky last, you're aboard Crunch Time for Ricky Alchin again, and it's a pronounced favourite here to claim victory in the final race. Gate 4.
Yeah, it's probably a good draw for him. He's going well, and he likes the front line, so he's got good gate speed and he likes to roll along, and as long as I don't fall out, we should be pretty hard to beat.
So you really like him, don't you,
Yeah,
Crunch Time?
Yeah, he looks pretty hard to beat in that field.
So we'll make that the best Crunch Time?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we'll save up for the lucky last. So there we go. That's a look at the Redcliffe meeting for Nathan Dawson. Of course, the 8 drives on Saturday night here, and he's come up with Crunch Time as his best bet.
Time now for a best bet for this big meeting coming through at Redcliffe on Saturday night. Big thanks to both Adam and Nathan as well for giving all of their time and insight for their big book of drives. Adam with 10 drives on Saturday night and Nathan's got 8, so they're going to be very busy boys, no doubt. My best bet comes up in the trot race and the Trotters Cup. I'm going with Claudys Prince. This guy's having his first look at the track. That's the only concern, but his form is so good. I think he's a standout. So race 9, number 4, Claudys Prince. I'm marking him as the best bet. And as far as a quaddie is concerned, the TAB main quaddie, as per normal, races 5, 6, 7 and 8. I think you can stand out Krug in the Derby. As far as race 6 is concerned, the 2-year-old, like I said, I think the boys can dominate here, 5, 6 and 9. So that's Teddy Disco, Obi Legal, and the other one being R11 Art. And then we get to a couple of difficult races, and there could be good value in these last 2 legs for mine on Saturday night. 1, 4, 5, 10, 11. I think you can sort of play around with a bit of value there. That's the Knights and Dames final, and the Gold Cup is the final leg. And as Darren and I discussed earlier, that's a really difficult race. So I'm going to throw a few in there. 1, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12 and 13. So $105 for 100% of that dividend. You can certainly play around with that, and you can go with your own budget there, and you can still get a really good piece of that quaddie for mine on Saturday night. So they're my best bets and quaddie thoughts for Saturday night. Let's get all the thoughts of the expert, our form analyst, Darren Clayton. Darren, you've got the dashboard. You do it each and every week with Racing Queensland. You provide unbelievable information each and every week, and I'm sure this is going to be no different. This is a really good thing that you do each and every week. So let's have a look at the dashboard.
Yeah, so just running through that, obviously a driver to follow, Adam Sanderson. He's got 10 drives, and he's got some really good drives there as well. A couple of strong chances. Sporty Dancer, we know she's right in that market, and Clintal Do, he's on him in the Redcliffe Cup. Adam showed he's a great stand-start driver himself. There was 5 winners he drove last week, all from the tape. So he's in form, which is why I've put Clintal Do. He's my best bet. I'm marking him in each way. Good thing. I thought he is the one to beat there. As for some of the other races, Jasper, I've mentioned her. She's going to get that good run in the Oaks, in my opinion, in behind the speed. Crunch Time. Have to wait up late, but he's going to be short. But for mine, he's just going to win this race, I thought. Loves the front end, loves just rolling along. He's got a 51.4 mile at Albion Park 2 starts ago. He holds the Redcliffe 3-year-old track record. He will be out and free rolling out in front. So we've got him there. As for a quaddie, we've got that over there as well. Likewise that you have there, Chris, of marking Krug as a 1-out selection. Obi Legal, Teddy Disco and R11 Art in that second leg. The third leg, the Knights and Dames final, playing with numbers 1, 4 and 11 and bringing it home wide in that cup, 1, 8, 11, 12 and 13. We've got the early quaddie numbers there, and if you like betting on a leader, couple of horses there that should be in front. Invincible Loxton in race 1, he's trialled really well at Redcliffe and has good gate speed from gate 1. He can protect the pegs and look to take them all the way. Jewel of Peak in the Knights and Dames final, another good beginner, and like we mentioned there, Crunch Time. So a little wrap up of the whole meeting in one little spot, the dashboard, and like you said, every week through the socials on Racing Queensland.
Yeah, it's an excellent service that you provide with the dashboard each and every week, and you've excelled once again with Redcliffe Gold Cup Night this weekend. The other one with Crunch Time, it's really important that he delivers again here on Saturday night, because if he can win this race and win it impressively, it certainly gives him an excellent chance of securing a spot in the Rising Sun. That race for 1Equine Constructions, that's on the first night of the Albion Park Carnival, and there's only a few spots up the grabs when you start breaking down that race. As we know, 4 horses invited, they've accepted at this stage, so that's an important race for Crunch Time coming through on Saturday night. We've got to be patient, wait for the last. We've got to be patient with my best bet. We're in race 9 with Claudys Prince, but all in all, it's a fabulous program coming through at Redcliffe on Saturday night. 10 races, an early start, 4:47 start time. Darren, as always, really appreciate the time and insight. You've delivered plenty of information again this week, and I look forward to working with you throughout the carnival as well. We've got the big nights coming up, July 10, 17 and 24. You can find out plenty of information by going to the Racing Queensland website. So I'll look forward to seeing you trackside on Saturday night. You might need to bring the brolly though.
That's all right. I love Redcliffe. I love everything.
Excellent stuff. So there is it. There it is for this week. This is the Weekend Winners Special Edition. It's going to be a fabulous night. We look forward to seeing you trackside at the Paceway.